Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel for another fabulous speed build. Today I am building once again in the new world that came with the Lovestruck expansion pack. I am not doing a limited pack build today. I was going through some things, meaning I was just feeling stressed like always and just wanted to have a little sim time. So I just went a little crazy and I really wanted to pair the new pack with the existing packs and kind of see what limitations were on it. And I will tell you, I did a lot of building with this pack. I want to say every video that I'm uploading this week, for those of you who aren't subscribed to my channel, first of all, you should do that because I would love that and I think you would love it too. But I upload every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern time. I think every video for the next like 2 or 3 uploads is centered around the new Lovestruck expansion pack, because why would it not be? Okay, we just got a new pack, duh. But I had a really fun time doing this, but after building with it so much, specifically in this house, I do feel like comparatively to Growing Together, because Growing Together also introduced similar new features in terms of like relationship development and things of that nature. I feel like it doesn't come with quite as much in terms of build items. It just doesn't feel like as large of a pack. There are quite a lot of design assets in the sense of like roof swatches, wallpapers, floors, things like that, which I do love and I do take into consideration. But in terms of items in the pack, it just didn't feel like it had all that much. And I think that's because it's missing certain things that I personally use to anchor my entire spaces when I'm designing my houses. So things like sofas, which for me, a sofa and a rug pretty much determine what my living room is going to look like. So I wasn't super thrilled in that aspect because I really enjoy building. I haven't gotten to play with it so much, but I will be live. I go live every Monday and Tuesday evenings, and I am hoping to play with it a little bit more and just kind of mess around with the actual gameplay items. But as far as build and buy mode go, I am a little like, I'm not necessarily upset with it. I just think because I like to build in The Sims that I, wouldn't have bought this pack if I wasn't a content creator before I would have bought other packs, say kind of like Growing Together or anything like that, because $40 is a lot for a pack. So I don't know, but maybe I'll change my mind after I play with it a little bit more. But if you couldn't tell, we are building a pretty large single-story family home. This house ends up being 4 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms, and it is quite big. It also has an office, so you could definitely have a 5th bedroom if you want, but the office is really super teeny tiny, in my opinion. So once you get into it, you might be like, yeah, that could only be like an infant's room or maybe a guest room. And all in all, I'm really happy with the way it came out. I don't really build with this style, and I built with the new pack last week just so I can get my toes wet, like dip them in a little bit, see how it's going. If you saw the build last week and you were like, wow, this girl is horrible at building, why on earth is she a builder in The Sims? That was not my best work, okay? I'm just not super comfortable with the style. It's very boxy and it's not necessarily modern, but I have a hard time with the roofing, and it was really colorful, and I don't know. I tried my best, okay? So I understand this isn't my strong suit, but this house I actually think is one of the better things I've built in quite a long time. I had a lot of fun doing it. The floor plan came together really nicely, and it feels very livable. This is definitely a house I personally would play in if I was playing in The Sims. It's a single-story house, which I prefer to play in single-story homes, especially if I'm doing something like a legacy or a 100 baby challenge, because having your kids stuck upstairs, I know this has happened to you guys, okay? I know it has. You're sitting there and all of a sudden you get a notification like little Cindy, your kid, is starving and about to get taken away, and you're like, well, that's because my sim keeps like getting confused and she goes to pick up the child and bring it downstairs, and it's just this whole thing. It's a whole thing, okay? And God forbid that my child were to be stolen away from me because I accidentally starved it to death because I couldn't get it down the stairs, okay? That's just freaking terrible. Also, this landscaping I thought looked really bad, and I ended up changing and deleting it, but I actually don't think it looks that bad now that I'm watching it back. I think I was being a little hypercritical because I spent a lot of time on this house. I cut out some of the footage. I cut out the bathrooms, I cut out the floor plan, I cut out the landscaping, as you can tell, but I ended up going in with some debug landscaping, and I will say this pack has some really freaking good debug assets. It's not quite as good as, say, Cottage Living, but I still think it's pretty dang good. We're now on to my favorite room in the entire house, which is the kitchen. I cluttered the absolute heck out of this kitchen, and I got to use that new asset that we got with the Lovestruck pack, which is the kind of terracotta tile wall hangy thing. I absolutely love that. I love it. I think it's gorgeous, and it paired so beautifully with these cabinets that came with the For Rent Stuff pack. This is not a limited pack build. I know I mentioned that, but it's not just not limited pack. I mean, I think I went a little crazy in terms of how many packs I use, so I do apologize for that. Anywho, I do think that although this pack is sort of lacking in my opinion with certain assets, I think it pairs very well with a lot of the things we already have in the game. I know off the top of my head, I used a lot of For Rent, I used a lot of the Desert Luxe kit, and then I also used some base game stuff because obviously Oasis Springs has a whole kind of Spanish influence styled kind of vibe. So it did pair well really nicely with those things, and I do think that's important to note that it has a lot of cohesion with other packs, which can be a good thing and also can be a bad thing because I understand if you only can buy one pack, it doesn't really matter if it matches other packs. But I also know the Sims team has released several packs that you almost can't use with any other style. If you've ever seen the assets from like movie hangout stuff, they are completely different and they're very early Sims team pack style, and you know what I'm talking about. They're all very fluorescent. They have a lot of really out there wild bright colors. None of the wood swatches match absolutely anything. I just want to say, if that's like your favorite pack, I'm not attacking it. I'm so sorry. I just like don't. I'm just trying to get my point across. I promise. Anyway, we are finishing up our kitchen, which goes over to this beautiful little patio, and I was just having the freaking time of my life. Those floor tiles are some of my favorite in the entire game, and they have really, really gorgeous swatches. I use them all over the house, I think. What else? I also used a lot of Jungle Adventure in this pack as well, and people really hate on Jungle Adventure, and I'm not gonna say that I don't get it, because I get it. But I'm saying I did use quite a lot of it. I think I was trying to actively. When I first started this build, I did think about trying to limit the amount of packs I used, and I was going to use more than base game and Lovestruck, but whenever I'm trying to decide how many packs I'm going to use, unless I'm just going crazy, because sometimes I have a bad day and I'm just going to go crazy. But in this case, I was like, I really want to use the Jungle Adventure tiles in the back, which are those beautiful terracotta tiles with like the thick grout lines. I love them. They're gorge. But then I thought to myself, okay, am I going to use this entire pack just to use one floor tile? No. But I didn't want to change the floor tile because I'm stubborn and I had my mind made up, and sometimes I just do things that don't make sense. So as an attempt to justify my use of Jungle Adventure, I ended up using it quite a bit. I know I kept those chairs in the living room that you saw, and they were a bit like the swatches on them were kind of mid, but I did like the pillow design, and then the wood wasn't really matching. It was a whole thing, and I did think about the fact that they might be ugly. I just decided I did not care, which all in all, like, I am really happy with how the build came out. And then I also used a lot of Jungle Adventure on the patio, and I made like a makeshift sectional. I believe I used the coffee table from there. I was really letting Jungle Adventure get its second win, because sometimes we gotta put some respect on the older packs. Even though I don't personally love Jungle Adventure, I do love the tile that came with it, both the floor tile and the wall tiles, so I think that's pretty. But everything paired so nice in here. I love this large painting you see by the dining room. One of my favorite paintings in the entire game. I also love the sheer size of it because we don't have a lot of really large artwork, and we definitely don't have anything that is in that style. I know there's a couple really large paintings from City Living, and they're very like kind of modern art deco style. That might not make any sense at all. I actually don't know anything about art except how to look at it. And even then, I'm kind of like, oh, this is pretty, but you know when people are talking about the feelings they have, I just don't get. I went to a bunch of art museums with one of my friends when we were in New York last time, and she is like so into art. She took a lot of classes on it in college, and she's just like really interested in stuff like that. And she was talking to me about it, and I was like, holy crap, I have no idea what you're talking about. You are so smart. And I remember feeling really silly. It's always funny to me to see kind of what my friends are experts at, and I know like I'm an expert at The Sims, and we all try to be really supportive by asking each other about like our interests and whatnot, but I know my friends actually have no idea anything about The Sims, which is fine because I also have a friend who works on cadavers, and she's like a mechanical engineering intern, and I don't know anything about mechanical engineering, nor do I know anything about cadaver body parts. But I do know how to be a supportive friend and go, that is so slay. And she's like, no, actually, that's a really bad thing. I'm like, but you slayed the bad thing. You always slay. I just try to be as supportive as possible. It doesn't always work out, but at least I try. As you can see, we are in what I would consider to be the primary bedroom of this house. This is a really large room, and it's very pink. I absolutely am obsessed with the new pink bed. Not the heart-shaped bed. I do love the heart-shaped bed, but I know for my own personal like gameplay when I'm building my little suburban houses, I probably won't use it too much. Not as much as this bed, which I'm glad they did that. I'm glad they gave us a bed that's really kind of geared towards storytelling. I think when you look at The Sims as a whole and they give you build and design assets, there are assets there for like pure decoration, and then there are some there purely for storytelling. And I think sometimes it's nice to get them, but I definitely like when you're given a version of like practicality as well as storytelling. So I just love this bed, and I don't even get me started on the absolute chokehold this flower freaking wallpaper has on me. I think I can speak for a majority of the community when I say that that wallpaper is so good. And the Sims team loves to just come in and just drop one of the most banging wallpapers you've ever seen in your entire life and go away with a flash. I am just saying, it is freaking gorgeous. Gorgeous. I love it almost as much as I love the wallpaper from the Paranormal Stuff Pack. And I talk about that wallpaper all the time. I am deeply indebted to it. I am obsessed with it. It is absolutely gorgeous. Speaking of wallpaper, I use wallpaper throughout this entire house. I don't think I use very much paint. As you can see, we're in a second bedroom. I designed this for a teenager, and honestly, this is my least favorite room in the house because I didn't really have a sense of direction. I just really wanted to use that wallpaper, but I feel like it did end up a little sort of kind of boring. I don't know. It wasn't my favorite room, but all in all, I think it came together pretty nice. But I do love that wallpaper from the Crystal Creations pack. So I used the wallpaper in here, then we have the flower wallpaper in the primary bedroom. Then I used a stone wallpaper in the living room, the same stone wallpaper that I used on the exterior as like an accent. Then I used, it might be a paint swatch, but it's got that really thick, dark crown molding on it, which I think is gorgeous, and it paired really beautifully with the interior doors that I used, which are from the new Lovestruck expansion pack, and I actually really enjoy them because I think they're very different and they're really detailed, and they're also not too expensive, which is always a plus. And then I used the cow print wallpaper in this room. I had a friend. We're still friends. But when we were younger, actually, honestly, probably still now, because she has a dog that has black and white spots, and the dog's name is Moo, like a cow. But she was like obsessed with cows. Okay, like in the era of Vines and Kick, this girl loved cow print everything, and I saw this cow print wallpaper, and I immediately thought of her in the Pastel Pop Kit rug, and I was like, I'm gonna have a cow themed bedroom. Like, and no one can stop me, and I don't care. So shout out to her. She knows who she is. I think she does actually watch my videos because we both mutually love The Sims. So I don't wanna dox her, but I know she knows who she is. And the whole room in itself was kind of giving like 2010 Rooms to Go. You know, when you'd have like the bright pink zebra print, like matching furniture set, and everything was just like violently bright colored and patterned. That's what I was going for. Except I was not going to use like magenta. I wanted the lavender. We have now moved into the office, which is so teeny tiny. I do wish it had been a tad bigger, but the floor plan came together as good as it could have, because I am not the best at floor plans unless I am like using a reference photo. And every once in a while I have like a really good like slay moment. And I could have definitely had it bigger, but I cut this part out of the entryway. And by cut it out, I mean I forgot to hit press record and then I realized it. But I do have like a little laundry nook. So I could have taken that out and made a bigger office. So that's something to think about if you either don't have laundry day or you want to make another bedroom, you want it a little bigger. Now we are on the opposite side of the house, and I imagine this is a multi-generational family home, so I thought this could be a really fun, like, grandparents' house, and I used the the Cozy Bistro Kit wallpaper and some of the decals, and I love this deep burgundy color. I thought it was stunning. I also kind of like the idea, like, the most romantic kind of vibed room in the entire house, at least in my opinion, is in my brain geared towards like the older people in this house. Like, okay, go crazy, I don't know. And we have moved on into the patio, and there is the jungle adventure stuff I told you guys I promise I used, but I really like the way it came out. The whole patio ended up being just so cute. I used these debug lights that you can see hanging. Those are actually from Lovestruck expansion pack debug. I normally use the lights from toddler stuff, but I don't use a lot of toddler stuff. I think the whole reason I bought the toddler stuff pack is because it was on sale and I really wanted the freaking lights that come in it. But knowing that you have these, and these are way better than the string lights from the debug that comes in Cottage Living, I think that's a slay, and they're actually functional. They do light up at night. So just in terms of like, if you have to make like a budget build, that's going to be a slay. Or if you don't want to buy another pack to have string lights, that's a slay. And I absolutely freaking just love the way that it came out. But we are finishing up just a couple last minute details. We have a big pool, which I think is gorge. I definitely put a cute little pool surround on it. And I'm just going through and like adding lights and whatnot, but we've zoomed around quite a bit. And we're coming to the end of this video, but do not fret because we're going to jump in game right now for a live tour. Alright team, we have made it into our final build. Here she is in all her glory. She's on this 30 by 20 lot that that originally has a base game build on it. Or a 30 by 20 lot that originally has a starter home on it. I apologize. But this is her in her 360 moment. She is so beautiful. I'm obsessed. Let me give you a little top-down view because I know a lot of people struggle with their floor plans, including myself. So sometimes it can be nice to see it overall. So we have our entryway with a little like laundry area, and then it leads into a hallway which has a hall bath and our grandparents wing. Then we have our living dining combo mixed with our kind of galley style kitchen into another hallway, which we have another hall bath, 2 bedrooms, and our primary bedroom with an ensuite, and then we also have an office and a patio. We love the way she came out, but let's jump in and do kind of like a little actual tour. So you come in, you just have a little, you know, skill building patio. Is it really a Sims build without a chess table? But when you come in, this is part of the footage I lost, but I love making an entryway. I feel like that's what makes a home feel very lived in. I have some kiddo backpacks, some clutter, and I just like the idea of this little laundry closet, and I use this specific treading thing. I'm not sure what you call this. A spandrel, all over to kind of make my own archways, but I thought that was a really cute little touch. And of course, if you don't have laundry day, you could just like fix the bump out and have a bigger office or an additional bedroom if you so choose. And you come into this little hallway. We have lots of clutter. This would definitely be some kind of fire hazard, but maybe they're like faux candles. I don't know. And we have our our first hallway bathroom, which has this new shower door feature. So cute. I think this is so stinking cute. I love it. And our grandparents' room, which is very saucy and steamy. I imagine that, you know, Nanny and Poppy are still down with it, if you know what I mean. Then we have our little dining area, and I really wanted to get the opportunity to use this new high top table. I really like that. Growing up in my house, we had a table that was pretty much just like this, and I just thought it was like a little fun addition. It's different than a lot of the stuff we have. And then this is also definitely a fire hazard. There are fire hazards all over my Sims builds, and yet those are never the things that actually catch on fire. It's always like my grill. my grill and like my teenage son cooking for the first time. Burned half my house down. Then we have our living room. It is very eccentric in here, and I used a lot of, like, this is from the new pack, this is from Cottage Living, this is from Jungle Adventure, this is from Horse Ranch, this is from the Desert Luxe kit. I recognize I have a problem. But the house is pretty, and I think that that counts for something. I also just love the style of this freaking thing. It's a little scooted into the wall, but I made sure it wasn't clipping. Now on to my favorite room, which is the kitchen. It is so beautiful and cluttered. Like, just look at it through here. We are obsessed with this. I did not put any bar stools because I didn't know if it would still be functional, but I think this is so beautiful. I love all the tile and like the little details. There's some like little aprons, and then it flows really nicely into this kind of one side of the house is reserved for a certain generation of the family, and the parents are on the other side for like a little bit more privacy, a little bit more separation, because I don't know if I want to live with my in-laws. I think I would and I wouldn't. I think it depends. I don't know. But now we have our primary bedroom, and I love how pink it is. I have nothing else to say. I just love how pink it is and how cluttered and beautiful. I love all the little plants that come with this pack. And look at this freaking bed. Oh, can we have a moment for the bed? It's just absolutely stunning. And it paired really nicely with these modern luxe curtains, which are some of my favorite in the game. And then we have this kind of like cute little sitting area bump out. And they also have, we have essentially two identical bathrooms. One's a hall bath, one's a primary bath. Except one has a regular bathtub and one has a shower. Really super stinking cute. Now we'll move over into this bedroom, which I imagine is just for our residential teenager. I know I didn't explain this earlier, but because the whole house is on a platform, the garage door was like all the way up, and I just didn't like it. And I really wanted to have a garage, so I cut it out, and basically this is what I came up with as a solution. So there's nothing really in here. I like it. I know it might seem a little bizarre, but it was really to make my own self happy. So if you think it's weird, I apologize. But yeah, there's a lot of wallpaper. I think there's like 9 different wallpapers in this whole house. Then we have this room inspired by one of my friends. It's really chic and purple and cow print, and 10-year-old Tiana would have fucking loved this. Loved it, eaten it up. But no, I wasn't a purple girl when I was younger. I definitely had that obnoxious aqua blue color though, and I stand by that. It was a canon event for my life. Now we have our office space. Maybe one of our parents works from home, and this is like their schedule where they're just trying to make sure everything is up to par. I like a dedicated office space in my Sims builds. It's just what I prefer. Then we come out here and we have our patio area. One of my favorite areas. This entire like middle section is my favorite area in the house. The doors, the sectional, the kitchen, the lights. It's all just so good. And I hate saying that because I built it, but I also just love what I built. So slay, I guess. And then all of the build items that you, or all the landscaping items you see, are actually from the debug section, except I believe the rocks are from the new patio kit that we got. And then we have like a little sitting area, fireplace, really super cute. And that is our entire house. Oh, also these lights I put up last minute before I put it on the gallery because I just thought it was so beautiful. But that is our whole house. This house is available on the gallery. And more so than that, I actually put up a shell of the house because I've been trying to be better about doing that, because I know a lot of people really don't like landscaping or doing floor plans. So I put a shell of this house that has the floor plan and all of the landscaping done. So if you wanted to decorate this to make it your own, it's already up there for you. And as always, my gallery is in the description box down below. I have lots of shells on my gallery. I have this one, which is a limited pack shell, and I thought it was super cute. So, you know, oh, I have a base game shell as well. This is on the gallery, but this video is not up yet. Sorry, guys. But that brings us to the end of the video. So if you enjoyed this, make sure you give this video a little thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to my channel so you can see a little bit more. And don't forget to drink your water. I will see you guys next time. Bye, everyone.